How many potential customers have you lost just because you were too busy to call them back or send a follow-up email? In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up simple systems that keep talking to your potential customers even when you're busy with other things. We'll focus on easy, cheap ways to stay connected without spending weeks learning complicated computer programs. You'll also find out how to keep that personal touch your business needs while still having systems that work for you behind the scenes, plus exactly which steps to start with first so you get the biggest results with the least work. All right, let's dive right in. Let's be honest about what's really happening in your business right now. You're probably so busy doing the work that you barely have time to find new customers. When someone new reaches out, you might send a quick reply, but then you get pulled into a client meeting, a project deadline, or fixing some other problem. Days go by, and that excited person becomes a missed chance to grow your business. The thing is, the people who contact you don't know you're swamped. They just know they reached out and didn't hear back when they expected to. They don't get to see how good you are at what you do because the conversation never really gets started. This is where smart systems become your secret helper. It's not about replacing the personal connection that makes your business special. It's about making sure that connection actually happens every time. Now, I know that there might be a couple of things you might be a bit concerned about at this point. So let's look at the three major ones, shall we? First maybe you're imagining some complicated or confusing software. Or maybe it's the hours of setup for you, because you know very well that you honestly don't have time for some complicated IT stuff right now. The good news is that basic systems can be surprisingly simple, and you can start with tools you might already be using. 2, you might be worried about losing that personal touch that makes your business different from everyone else's. Here's the truth. Good systems actually help you be more personal, not less. When your systems handle the routine stuff like reminders and follow-ups, you can focus your personal attention on the conversations that actually matter. And third, there's usually the fear of setting something up wrong and looking unprofessional. And that's something I get completely. But here's what I've learned from working with hundreds of small businesses. A simple automated email that goes out every time is way better than the perfect follow-up email that never gets sent because you were too busy. Let me walk you through the 3 most helpful areas where you can add simple systems without spending a lot or becoming a computer expert. 1. Welcome and follow-up email sequences. So when someone downloads something from your website or fills out your contact form, they should right away get a friendly welcome email. This isn't just about confirming they did the right thing. It's about starting the relationship the way you want it to go. You can set this up using free versions of email programs like MailChimp or MailerLite. At this point, you want to create a simple 3-email series. A welcome email that gives them what they asked for, a second email that shares a quick tip or helpful insight about your service, and a third that explains how you work with clients. Space these out over a week, and you've just automated the important first impression that many small businesses completely miss. 2. Appointment reminders and calendar management. Let me just ask this. How many times have potential clients scheduled a phone call with you, only to not show up because life got busy? Most calendar tools like Calendly or even Google Calendar can send automatic reminders. But here's the key. Don't just remind them about the time. Include what you'll be talking about and maybe one question for them to think about beforehand. This small touch shows you're professional and gets them thinking about a productive conversation. 3. Simple contact organizing through tagging. This one kind of sounds technical, but it's really just organizing your contacts based on what they do. When someone downloads your pricing guide, tag them as pricing interested. When they book a call, tag them as ready to talk. Most email programs let you do this automatically based on actions people take. Then you can follow up differently with each group, focusing your personal time on the people who are most interested. Side note, I kinda noticed that a lot of businesses kinda treat this automation thing like it's all or nothing. Either you're manually handling just about everything, or you're running a completely automated machine. But the sweet spot for service businesses is using systems to handle the predictable parts so you can be human in the moments that count. Your automated welcome email should sound like you. Your appointment reminders should show your personality. And your follow-up emails should feel like the beginning of a conversation, not the end of one. Think of automation as your reliable helper who handles the routine stuff exactly the way you would, freeing you up for the important conversations that actually turn people into paying clients. If you're feeling overwhelmed thinking about setting all this up, start with just one piece. Pick the area where you're losing the most opportunities right now. Is it people who ask questions but never hear back? Start with a simple auto reply. Is it scheduled calls that turn into no-shows? Focus on appointment reminders first. Here's your small wins approach. Choose one system, set it up over the weekend. Test it with a friend or family member, then let it run for 2 weeks while you focus on your client work. Once it's working smoothly, add the next piece. This way, you're building your automated systems gradually without messing up your current business. Most importantly, write your automated messages in your own voice. Don't try to sound corporate or overly fancy. Your potential customers connected with you initially because of who you are, not because you sound like every other service provider. Let that personality come through in your automated messages too. So 3 questions I often get about these systems are, how much time will this actually take to set up? For the basic 3-step system I outlined, you're looking at maybe 2 to 3 hours total, spread across a few sessions. That's less time than you probably spend each month chasing down potential customers who went cold because you didn't follow up quickly enough. Won't people think I'm being impersonal? Only if your automated messages sound like a robot wrote them. Remember, most of your potential customers are business owners too. They understand and appreciate systems that work well. What they don't appreciate is feeling forgotten or having to chase you down for information. What if I test something and it breaks? So when you're just starting, you want to start small and test everything first, okay? So send automated emails to yourself, book test appointments, go through your own system as if you were a potential customer. Many programs let you pause or change things easily if you need to make adjustments. Oh yeah, I almost forgot this one. How do I actually know if my systems are working or if I'm just making things worse? This is a good concern because I've seen business owners set up systems and then wonder why fewer people are becoming customers. The truth is, systems make whatever you already have bigger. If your messaging was unclear before, now you're just confusing people faster and more consistently. Here are the warning signs that your systems need fixing. First of all, if your email open rates are way below what's normal for your type of business, which is usually between 25% to 45%, your subject lines aren't interesting enough, or your emails are going to spam folders. Also, if people are unsubscribing right after joining your list, there's a disconnect between what you promised and what you're giving them. And also, if your automated emails are getting replies like, "Please remove me," or confused questions about what you actually do, your messaging needs work. But here's what good systems look like in practice. Your welcome email gets opened because the subject line connects directly to what they just downloaded. Your follow-up emails get replies, actual responses from potential customers asking questions or sharing their situation. Your appointment reminders result in people showing up, not canceling. And most importantly, people start moving through your process more predictably, from initial interest to scheduling calls to becoming paying clients. One thing that's particularly telling for service businesses is whether your emails get any meaningful engagement. This could be replies, questions, or people taking action like downloading additional resources or booking calls. If your automated emails are just being opened and ignored, they're not effectively moving your potential customers toward hiring you. Here's another tip, okay? So when you're setting up your system, don't set it up just based on what feels logical. Make sure it actually aligns with how your potential customers actually behave. You can use an approach like this. Look at your last 10 clients and think about how long it typically took them from first contact to signing a contract. Was it days, weeks, or months? That timeline gives you valuable insight into how to space your automated follow-ups. For example, if your typical client takes 2 months to make a decision, sending 5 emails in the first week is probably going to feel pushy. But if your service solves urgent problems and clients typically decide within days, spreading your follow-up over several weeks means you might miss the window when they're ready to buy. The key is to match your system timing to your potential customer's natural decision-making pace. You can just test this by tracking when people actually respond to your current emails. Are the responses coming from like the first email, the third one, or much later in your sequence? That information tells you something important about your audience's timeline. You may also want to consider the kind of questions your potential customers typically ask before hiring you. It's usually better if your early automated emails sorta anticipates them and answer these questions ahead of time, rather than waiting for people to ask them. This makes your systems genuinely helpful, rather than just promotional. Your systems become really powerful when they're working together with a healthy overall process for getting customers. The best systems in the world can't fix basic problems like unclear messaging, confusing next steps, or a value proposition that doesn't make sense to people. That's why I always recommend starting with a process audit before diving into systems. You want to make sure you're automating the right processes, not just making ineffective processes happen faster. When you understand where potential customers are dropping off in your current process, you can use systems strategically to address those specific gaps. For example, if you discover that people are interested but get stuck trying to figure out your pricing, you might automate a pricing guide delivery. If they're ready to move forward but struggle with scheduling, appointment automation becomes your priority. If you would like a quick 5-minute audit of your process to spot the areas that you can test and improve upon, then check out the free downloadable checklist. It was made especially for service businesses with smaller teams. It's meant to help you trace the leaks in your own business and identify what your next steps should be to solve it. This way, you can make changes to those exact areas of your sales process and understand your customer better. This way, you'll be more likely to get more out of your marketing efforts, even with the same number of potential customers in future. The link is in the description below. This has been Rita with ClicksandThings.com. See you in the next one.